Paranormal Evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices
Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I am Chris Allgood.
I am Audrey Keeler.
I am Tony Raffman.
I am Lourdes Gonzalez.
And I am going to sit sideways like Tony Rathman.
I got all this space.
I got all this space.
I'm not green screen restricted anymore.
No, you're not.
I have
Hey,
a
I'll
whole
let him
green
both
screen.
figure. He's posing. He's posing.
Ron Iacovetti. And before we bring on our guests, which we are super hyped to have, just to share with our viewers, when we talk about our own stuff, when we share our own evidence sometimes, but just over this past weekend, we were just talking with our producer, Race Hobbs. We did a residential case where we got some phenomenal activity in direct radio voices. Tony crushed it at the Globe, Arizona Paracon, doing direct radio, speaking on the stuff that he knows so well, like no one else can. And then Chris and Audra were part of, you did a blessing, you said, at a house.
Yeah, with our guests that are coming on here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did
With them.
Let's
a
not
blessing and a
forget.
saint. Go ahead.
Let's not forget the third one, which was a private home investigation done by Ron Lourdes, and I'm not sure who else was there, but you guys crushed it as well. In fact, by getting written appreciation from the family that you were doing.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah,
so
it was
cool.
fine.
It was pretty profound. They got
Okay.
responses and voices they recognized from people
Family.
saying stuff that they remembered them saying. It was intense, far more impactful than we even anticipated. That's a big shout out to Richard Michella and Marcy Keck from New Jersey Paranormal Project, whose books I will also support. These are two of Richard's books. They don't show up well on the green screen. My New Jersey Paranormal Project. Then his second one is called Spirit Voices, which is the one you can't see because it's green. Steve Holte, welcome, Mr. Holte. Thanks for joining us. As always.
welcome.
We love the Holtes. So shout out to Rich Michelle for bringing us in on that. A really nice family and really impactful when you help people. That's the higher purpose that we talk about.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's amazing. When you can show something or let them hear something that normally would not be obtainable, and you can get them to hear it, to understand it, to be able to connect to it. That's what it's all about. So congratulations, Ron and Lourdes. That was amazing.
Very cool.
Way cool. Way
I'd like
cool.
to hear more about it.
You can't.
And I wanted to bring all that up in the beginning just because we're proud of being a part of this with you guys. We said it before, but we're so grateful to have been invited to join Entity Voices,
Absolutely.
and we couldn't think of doing anything else. This is awesome. So
Oh, don't even go there because I don't think this team would be complete without you guys in it. So
Oh,
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
This is probably the best combination from knowledge, from personalities, it's a great mixture. And I'm sorry Cherie's not here tonight. She had to take care of. But it feels even incomplete without her.
Yes,
absolutely,
Or anybody. So
absolutely
great.
incomplete without her. She's awesome.
and the best part is if you look at Tony's background, even if Cherie was there, you'd still be able to see the two trees.
She's little.
Yeah,
You see this little head come in.
don't say nothing smart.
No. I know. Say something smart.
because he's smart. We don't do that on this show.
Yeah, what be you talking about, woman?
You're lucky. She said, "Don't say something smart." Cheree says, "Say something smart." It's like a challenge.
So our
I
guest,
was gonna say that she has a picture of Cherie sleeping on two folding chairs covered by a sweater entirely.
And she looks completely comfortable. That's
and somebody
the
could have sat on the chair next to her and still had room.
Yeah.
Little
All right, guys.
Well, that said, Chris, bring them on. We're excited about this episode. This is a long time coming.
So before I bring these guys in, this is what you're going to see come in is Zach, Everett, and Scott of Piedmont Paranormal. They are from the Piedmont region of North Carolina here. We have done some investigating with them. Previously with Zach and his dad Michael, and we've done Scott's come out to the Montgomery house, and then Everett was at the private investigation that we did with them a couple weeks back. So I'm going to bring them in. Everybody say hello to Piedmont Paranormal.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Hey, and before I ask the common question that I always ask the guests, I want to point something out, and this one's near and dear to Audra and I's heart. Sitting there, Scott, Everett, and Zach, you are looking at former military, you are looking at former law enforcement, and you are looking at current first responders.
And custodian.
Maintenance engineer.
That's right.
So Everett is, and you'll never say this, Everett is a Marine. Formerly of the Marine Corps. You never tell them that they were a Marine. They are always a Marine.
It's not former Marine. It's honorably discharged.
There you go. So for everybody watching, those three gentlemen sitting right there, that is Americana at its best, and they exude
Thank
pure
you.
unity on top of it. So that right there, these gentlemen right here hold my utmost respect. So
It's awesome.
welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, welcome.
Well, thank you. We're very excited to be here.
Good. I'm glad to have you on. So let's start by briefly each one of you, and the reason I say briefly is because Scott sent me a buttload of evidence, and I reached out to Scott and I said, "Hey, Scott, I don't have time to put all this shit on the show." And he said, "Pick the best ones you think." And God, I couldn't make a decision. The evidence these guys have brought to the show tonight is huge. So we are going to go over everybody watching. So make sure that you stay on with us on YouTube and Facebook. But one at a time, tell us how you got interested into the paranormal.
Well, for me, my wife and I have always been attracted to the weird stuff. When we first got married, we were big fans of the show X-Files. And it just kind of grew from there. Later on, we found ourselves watching Ghost Hunters and just being glued to it. And a lot of how we operate is based off of how TAPS operates, scientific method of doing this. If you find something, try to debunk it. I mean, that's the first thing you should try to do. And of course, I've been speaking with Ron and Tony, which, by the way, Tony, I like how much space you've got. We're trying to squeeze 3 fat guys in.
So I used to be literally pinned against the desk because my green screen had to be like half an inch behind me in order for it to fill. So I said, okay, enough of that. We put up a 20-foot that wraps the room. I'm like hanging from the ceiling. I'm like, okay, now I can stretch out.
But I guess officially started investigating on a wedding anniversary trip my wife and I took to St. Augustine and did the lighthouse, did the Dark of the Moon tour there. And from there we were hooked. I mean, it was, we were going to go investigating and pretty much did it all the way to as a hobby, just doing it for fun until we went to Waverly on another anniversary trip and got some photographs, which I believe we will be showing tonight, that just blew my mind. And at that point, my wife and I were like, my wife, Heather, I should say, hello, Heather, love you. We knew that we had to form a team. That's where it all started for Piedmont Paranormal. That was in late 2019, and then COVID hit. about shut it all down. We weren't sure if we were going to actually be able to continue. I have some friends, since I was in law enforcement, that were attorneys who said, no, you don't need to go into anybody's houses. You don't need to go to any Waverlys or Talas or anything like that. Just you're going to have to ride it out. So we did. I'm a paramedic. That's how I met Zach. I used to be a law enforcement officer. And I was in the Navy. And of course, that mixes well with the Marine here. But ever since then, ever since we came back from COVID, business has been good. So that's kind of how it all went for me. Zach?
I grew up around it. My parents' house, I think my earliest memory was when I was 4. So we started off just investigating our own house. Then we watched Taps. Taps did a thing at the Battleship, North Carolina. So I think was my dad and I's first investigation. And it's just kind of grown from there.
Nice. That's cool.
I've been friends with Scott for like almost a quarter of a century now.
But well, no, over that. It's been 30. We were best friends in high school.
Yeah. And getting through everything. And I've always been skeptical of these ghost videos and everything that you see on YouTube. And Scott said, hey, I'm starting this paranormal research team out. You want to join it? I'm like, hell yeah. So, doggone, we've been doing that. I got to do my first investigation here in Winston-Salem. And it was pretty badass. So it was pretty impressive stuff that we got. And yeah, I'm totally psyched for this weekend.
I'd like to add also off the private investigation we just finished up on the evening that Chris and Audrey came down to help out. Everett's progressed to the point where that was his first night being team lead. So he's done really well.
Good.
So.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Everett, would you say, because you said you came from more of a position of skepticism, would you say that for most people, in order to open up a little bit more to what's possible with all this, that you really need to have your own profound experience?
I saw some weird things in Okinawa when we were doing night patrol, and we set up an OP and looking through night vision goggles, and I could swear I saw Japanese soldiers because we were out in the caves, and I was like, I got to know more about this. But I really, I couldn't just get up and go walk out, and I really wanted to know what it was. And as far as being a skeptic, I always watch a video or something else. I'm like trying to figure out how someone could fake this.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, there's more than enough videos out there on the internet where people have, faked a video, and it's easy to be skeptical when you see stuff like that. But if you have a team like what I've got, and we stick to the ethics of true investigating, you can't refute what we find. So that's where we stand on it. And he's the first one that if it's bullshit, he's going to call it bullshit.
Yeah, some of the pictures that we caught at the Winston-Salem house.
Yeah. If
I didn't know Scott, and if I wasn't there myself, I was like, "That's bullshit. that's fake." But
yeah, but that's,
oh my God! If you haven't seen the picture,
yep.
Oh, just hold on to your socks.
But Everett, that brings up a great point, and we talk about this on so many shows, and I'm glad you phrased it that way, because we always talk about having a level of personal integrity and being able to function with it in the community. What you just said validates that, is that if you didn't know him, and knowing him means what? This is someone who you respect, someone you admire, someone you trust.
Someone you call credible.
Right, bingo. And then there it is. So that's the lesson for everybody out here from what Everett just said, is your integrity and your credibility are the platform upon which your evidence stands.
Exactly.
Skepticism is healthy. So.
Right.
Yeah,
It is.
And,
It can be.
and to everybody watching, I want to point something out right now that just kind of floored me a little bit. We've been on a couple investigations with Scott, and we met Everett for the first time, up at the Winston-Salem house, and Zach we've been on a couple investigations with, and I just found out when I got their bio that these guys have only been a team for a couple of years.
No.
Oh, that's right.
And I can tell you right now, being on an investigation with these guys and seeing the techniques they use and how they go about capturing evidence and how they go about doing investigations, I thought they'd been doing it for quite a while. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you guys see the level of evidence these guys have sent to us to show on tonight's show, you're going to go, these guys have only been investigating for a couple of years as a team. I mean, I'm floored. I didn't know you guys had only been together for a couple of years. I thought you'd been together for a while. This is phenomenal.
Well, no, the team's only been together for a couple of years, but we've got people with years of experience.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
They do a phenomenal job. And some of these, like I said, I had trouble picking evidence because the stuff that we've got, the photos alone that Piedmont sent in to us to show on the show tonight will just knock you on your ass. It is phenomenal.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
do
I
it.
know. I'm excited now.
I'm going to start with a video, and then I'm going to go to we're going to start with the photos after that. But this is the photos that Scott was talking about that got him started as an investigator. These are the ones he caught at Waverly. Here we go.
I think we're there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I tell you, when I saw those, it first gave me chills. And then after, I was no longer awestruck. That's when I looked at my wife and said, we're starting a team. So, yeah.
Those are awesome.
But, the fourth floor, of course, is where the infamous shadow man is supposed to dwell in Waverly. So we didn't see anything with our naked eyes. I was just snapping photos. We were actually getting ready to wrap up for the night. That was like at almost 4 a.m. And my wife were like, we're just going to start snapping some more photos real quick. And I had heard someone say that you can get really good results using UV black light. So I had a little cheap UV black light in my hand, pointing it down the hallway and snapping pictures. I've learned a little more about how to do camera setup since then, so we get higher quality photos now.
Very cool.
For
It
sure.
is.
That's right. You learn with experience.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys have come a long way in 2 years. That's for damn sure as a team. That's
Yeah. Well, I'm a constant student of it. I recently getting into ITC research. I've also been, picking up some good reading material along the way.
Garbage.
That is awesome.
So
Thank you.
Good timing.
I hear he's a good author. So
I appreciate that very much. When brilliant
you're
people
very
like
welcome.
pick up the book.
But it is actually a very good book. And of course, I've been messaging you and Tony about some DRB stuff. I have some hypotheses on, some things we can do, and try to, improve DRB. But you are right; it is a grind. So.
Oh yeah. It's not the instant gratification that I think that the American ghost hunting movement got accustomed to.
Right.
But as you say, if you put in the work, you could get instant gratification because we've been getting them. We've just been trying to get it in real time, But
right.
But I think if you put in the work, maybe one day we'll get real time communication.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're starting to crest on that now. I think the thing is we want an elongated dialogue in the moment.
Right.
We want to replicate what we're paying the cell phone companies to do every month.
Exactly. And I think once we can get replication, at least in the communication between our world and theirs, that this will be more accepted within the scientific community as well.
And that's an important area of focus. But at the same time, too, and this is one of the things that I learned from doing this for so long, is that there are so many people on the scientific side of this who are completely on board and who have seen it work. And then there are other people who are not. And when they're governed by bias, it doesn't matter what evidence you put in front of them. They're not going to accept it. But you're on the right track because you're doing strict quality work, and that's the way you get to some kind of result that is genuine.
Right now, as far as ITC goes, our specialty is sensory deprivation. So
that's great.
So
So let's start with the photos, because if Piedmont Paranormal starts getting the results from DRB that they get from what they've caught so far, then I see them guys going a long way with the DRB. So let's start with the first one, apparition in the window. What's that one?
Okay, so the first one, of course, it looks like a full body apparition of a shadow, and as the photos progress, it gradually fades away. Those photos were taken, all three, probably within 5 to 7 seconds in total over all three of them. So, within that time frame, this apparition or entity just fades away. It's almost like it knew it was being photographed and it was going to get the hell out of there.
And where was this at?
Oh, are we still talking about the Waverly stuff?
The apparition in the window. Where did you take that
where
picture?
Was that one at?
Can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry.
The apparition in the window. Where was that one at?
Oh, the apparition in the window. Oh, I'm sorry. The apparition. That would be. Is it the one with the red background?
Yes.
That's you. That's Tyler.
Yeah, that was Trans Allegheny.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it's a series of 3 shots that were all back to back, and we caught something in one of them that's definitely interesting.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look.
And I apologize for the airplane.
Oh, you're okay. Quit flying those things.
I know, right?
This is the series of 3, guys. So if you look at that center one,
That's what you get here at Shade Reddick.
Yeah, there's something in the middle photo that is not in the other two.
Yeah.
And there's no blur. So that
no, there's
rules
no blur.
motion out.
Well, this was taken with a full spectrum, right, Zach?
So what?
Was this taken with a full spectrum?
Was
No, that was my dad's phone. It was a Samsung S21 Plus or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Samsung phones have good cameras. The shadow figure I caught at the Queen Mary was with a Galaxy Note 3.
Wow.
well, the Waverly photos were also taken with a Samsung.
Oh, okay.
Piedmont needs to get some sponsorship because this is good.
Hey, there you go. Now we're talking.
This one's mild compared to what we got coming, guys. But if you look at that center photo, you can see the figure in the panes of the glass, where the first photo and the third photo, it's not there.
Yeah.
Not at
And this
all.
is, I can tell you guys, this is not uncommon at Tala.
Yeah. Can't wait to go back.
So let's look at the next one. The next one is going to blow you away. So this is the bowling alley at St. Albans.
There you go.
Yeah.
My man's killing it.
Yeah. So actually, the funny thing about this is I didn't find this till last week. Just reviewing things again. If you want to, just look at the photo and kind of go from there.
So let's go with the first one. So correct me if I'm wrong. This is just a standard photo showing you what the bowling alley looks like in the basement, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna everybody watching, I want you to focus on that chair. And you'll see why here in a second. This is what he caught. You see down at the end of the bowling alley there?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Looks like somebody sitting in the chair.
Oh, you blew it.
Oh.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was the name of the game, was to figure it out.
So, yeah, you're looking at that, and it looks about 5 feet tall. There's the next photo.
Wow.
Well, then they enhanced it so you can see it. There
Oh,
you go.
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that
sitting
one.
in the chair.
There's-
And-
yeah.
Oh, transparent.
Yeah, it is transparent. And what's really intriguing is, guys, if you pay really close attention, that the first thing I start looking at is when I start analyzing photos is, hey, is this a shadow being cast by somebody at the end of the bowling alley? But it can't be, because you'd see it on the floor,
Right.
especially in this photo here.
Yep.
You'd see the shadow being cast on the floor. That shadow's not being cast. That shadow is there sitting in that freaking chair, because now you can't see that chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chair's gone.
Right.
Something
And
think about chairs there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part about this, if you guys remember Carrie's EVP last week, she was sitting down in that area where that chair is when she caught that EVP of those footsteps.
Mm.
Now, Zach and his team were down there at a different time from when Carrie was down there, and then they catch a shadow figure. So it supports each other.
It ties in.
It ties in together with each other.
Hmm.
That is
Yeah.
a phenomenal catch.
That's,
Yeah.
that's two correlative captures. They're both, that's correlative evidence. You got two different things in the exact same area of the building.
And you can see how it progresses until they lighten up the photo.
Yep.
Once they lighten up that photo, man, that is just screaming at you. Look at that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, then again, getting back to, the ethical part of this, we possibly, we're going to show you the original photo, unedited, as we found it, and then we'll say, here's the enhanced one. So there shouldn't be any argument.
Yeah, that's the original that Scott's talking about.
Right.
Right.
And there's a second photo from a different angle.
Right. Yeah.
And then this is how Scott and the team enhanced it, so you could see what they actually captured, which is phenomenal.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That's integrity. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not creating visual artifacts through photo manipulation. You're adjusting certain aspects of the photo to reveal different things based on shading and contrast. And there's nothing wrong with that. If it wasn't there, you couldn't put somebody in the chair by changing that.
Exactly.
No. Well, and I also want to point out too, for people that are watching that are starting new as investigators, these guys have great teachable moments for somebody that hasn't been doing it for very long. They took a photo of the existing bowling alley before they even captured this. So they knew in advance, let me take a photo of what's going on in this bowling. Let me take a photo of this bowling alley so you can see what it looks like. Holy shit, later on, look what I caught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So if somebody ever needs a point of reference and says, hey, that photo's bullshit, well, bullshit, it's bullshit, because I've got
photos covering.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Let's see you debunk that.
No, you're good.
Huh.
So the next picture we have is a series of 3. And this was from the private, Scott. It was the elemental. You want to explain to me what you mean by elemental?
So this was interesting. Me, Everett, and another team member of ours, Eric, were in the house. This is a private investigation here in Winston-Salem. The homeowner was complaining. Oh, well, not complaining. Reporting. I say complaining because I'm a paramedic, and that's what we normally say. But,
the CO is.
Yeah, exactly. The homeowner was reporting poltergeist activity, things being missing, things getting knocked over, and it was getting bad. He's had his wallet come up missing several times, to totaling over $600 in cash missing. So that's a pretty sizable bit. Then through another family member, we're contacted to come into the house and see what's going on. We investigated this house total of 3 times, once in October, then twice within the past month. And the photos you're going to see were taken on the second night of investigating. What happened, me, Eric, and Everett were in there, and we were setting up the camera. I'd learned, like I said, learned a lot since then. I now take photos on a tripod, so that it's nice and steady. And my new phone, also a Samsung, has a stylus with a remote on it, so I can set the camera up, walk away from it, and just start snapping. I was setting the camera up in the kitchen, and I look over to the pantry. One of the claims at the house was that there was a entity picking its head in and out of walls and stuff like that. I look over towards the pantry, and there's this head poking out of the top of the pantry door.
Through the door, right?
Yeah, through the door.
Wow.
I call over to Everett, and Eric said, y'all come over here. This is what happened. And Eric is like, can we open that door? I'm like, hell yeah, we are. So I snap a picture of the door real quick, and then we open the pantry door. The next photo I took, oh gosh, how to explain it? There's evidence that makes you go, that's neat, and others that make you go, what the hell is that? And then others that leave your jaw drop to the floor. Mm-hmm. This photo took my jaw. Mike dropped it to the floor and said, "Top that bitch." So, and of course, we didn't see anything with our naked eye. Found it all on review. So I snapped that photo, and then I snapped a follow up. And so I'm gonna leave it at that, and let's show them what we got.
All right. Yeah. So the first photo I'm going to show you is with the pantry closed. Okay. So this is an older home. It was built 1963, Scott. Is that right?
Yeah. It was early 1900s, 1950s or 60s. I forget the exact year.
Okay.
But it's had some add-ons to it since then.
You can call them that, yeah. This is the second photo with the pantry open.
Okay.
Actually, that's the third one. That's the third photo.
Oh, that's the third one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me start that again.
Yeah, that would be the follow-up.
Did it open on its own, by the way?
No, we opened the door.
Okay.
And then I took the next one should be the what we refer to as the red lightning bolt.
The oh shit photo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things that
Makes you want to put on
Scott
parachute
sent me
pants
this
and dance.
photo. I was like,
Yep.
oh my God. Because we couldn't see it with the naked eye. And I don't know if you can recognize it or not because I look like a black blur, but I'm off to the right of the photo. And none of this was visible to the naked eye.
Look at how bright it is.
Yeah.
Well, here's the third photo. There's the third photo.
Right.
Let's go back.
We had asked Chris and Audra to come down to assist with this. Chris picked up on 2 entities there. One of them was prior living, and the other one an elemental. We believe this to be the elemental.
So let me ask a question. The light being illuminated is being caused by that streaks because it was completely dark, right?
Yes. If you zoom in on that photo, at first we thought it was this big red lightning bolt coming out of this entity's head. And if I'd seen that with my naked eye and it's shooting lightning bolts, we would have left there immediately.
Could shoot lightning bolts out my ass.
Yeah. We have a team rule. It's called the dude run rule. Is whereas no dude runs scenarios, and if you know ghost hunting, you know what the dude run scenario is because these places are dark. You go running through and everything, you could get yourself hurt. But if I'd seen an entity with a red lightning bolt coming out of its head with my naked eyes, I think we would have broke the dude run rule.
Yeah, well, I had only seen something like that once before, and it's in a small photo that I taught at the pool area of the Queen Mary, and it's probably maybe 25 or 30% the length of that. It's not nearly as big as what that is. And what strikes me about that is that it doesn't have what appears to be an entry point or a source from where it's emanating. It's just it has the length of whatever it is. And you're seeing that part of it, but you don't see, like, it's not like it's starting out faded and getting brighter as it extends, or the opposite. It's bright and then it's fading out and diffusing. It's literally equally luminescent the whole way through, and it has a start and a stop point that are just completely randomly in air.
I mean, to me, it looks like it's coming from the wall. It looks like, but I see what you're
that's
saying.
Without that.
Yeah, no, it is following the contour of the wall. When you zoom in on it, you can see that it is following the contour of the wall and the shelves in the pantry. I don't know if you're able to zoom in, Chris, but if you can zoom in on the shelves in the pantry, you will see that it follows the contour.
Definitely follows. Yeah, it definitely follows the contour, but you can't really determine where it starts and where it finishes, or if it's the opposite way around.
You don't have a point of origin or termination on that. So
I'm gonna go Chris Allgood here for a minute. Yep, she just found it. If you look at the middle of it, there's almost like a break where it's severed.
And over here too, and over here a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the short end of this review of what we're looking at is that's freaking phenomenal. Is what that is.
Yeah. What's really freaky about it? What's really freaky about it is Go ahead,
one
Scott.
hypothesis to it is we called it as it was crossing between its dimensions. Our dimension and its.
Possibly.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So for everybody watching, an elemental is a natural spirit. It's usually based off of fire, wind, earth, kind of like the 5 elements from the movie Fifth Element, right? They're believed to be natural spirits that are attached to the land, not to the property.
And they are referenced in the Bible.
Right.
They are referenced in Colossians 2:8.
Yep. Thank you, sir. You've been doing your research.
Yes.
But not to be confused with the musical group Earth, Wind, and Fire.
So when Audra and I
dancing that night.
So Scott invited us up to kind of do a reading on the house and try and get what we felt. And the first thing I picked up on was Marie was the original owner of the house, and I almost felt like she was there protecting the house. Audra was picking up on it too. But then when we went back to the back room, we both got this image in our mind about this in the back room.
In the back, yeah.
Of this little 3-foot tall bipedal cat looking like entity. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, it's an elemental. So we got outside. We told Scott what our assessment was of and what we thought was in the building. And then when I got home later that night, I actually started looking up and researching more of elemental. And some of the things it does is it destroys items. And one of the things the homeowner was reporting was that pictures were tore up. It takes things and hides them that can be found later. And one of the main things that you're dealing with an elemental is when you catch photos of lightning type streaks in the area where the elemental is believed to be.
Yes.
So that's what we believe to be. And that's
crazy as that sounds.
Crazy as it sounds. It sounds nuts, but if you're going to be a part of the paranormal, you got to grasp every aspect of it, and including the nuts, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's amazing how it just illuminated the closet, though, and they didn't even see it.
Exactly.
In case you wanted to sleep tonight.
Yeah, but you can see full body there too.
Yeah.
A blurred face, hands. It looks like it's leaning in.
Yeah.
And what from a materialist worldview could otherwise explain that away? I would say nothing. What else? Right?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Well, and I'll explain to you now. Going back to getting away from the metaphysical portion of it. If you were looking to that pantry, that pantry is basically an opening in the wall between the living room wall and the kitchen wall that they basically cut a door frame into to create a pantry. There is no electrical in that wall except where you see next to it. Let me pop that back up again. Where you see the freezer sitting next to it. And then you got the stove over here to the right. But inside that cavity where the pantry is actually at, there is no electrical in that area whatsoever.
There is now.
There is now, yeah.
There is now.
You just got to fit that into the word Budweiser now.
But I do want to also add that I'm very proud of our team and the work we did on that, and the help with Chris and Audra. This past Saturday, Chris and Audra came down. I was with them. We were able to complete the blessing on the house. The original homeowner spirit, Marie, is no longer there. She has moved on, thanks to this guy right here. And we truly have helped the homeowner. And that's what, if you're going to do private investigating in somebody's house, and you don't have the intent of helping the homeowner, don't go into somebody's house. That's the way I see it. These people want these things gone. Places like Waverly, Tala, St. Augustine, they want the spirits there. So that's their attraction. So yeah, money. It's all about the money. But a private homeowner wants this stuff gone. And if you accept a private investigation, that should be your intent, is helping the homeowner and helping the spirits. We helped Marie move on to wherever she needed to go. So
yeah.
We got one more picture that was taken in, I believe this was the back room.
Oh.
Where did the second one go? Oh, here it is. This was taken in the back room.
Yes. Again, this was the Sunday night investigation, where it was me and Zach in there. We were trying to make contact with Marie and communicate with her the intent, what our intentions were and that we needed her to, go towards the light, move on, whatever it is, and move on, because we had all intentions of helping her complete her task of protecting this house and, evicting this elemental. So I'm going through taking pictures. If you look to the right of the window, there's a reflection there. There's a mirror on the other side of the room attached to a dresser that projects a perfect, reflection onto that wall. Cars going by do not affect it, and nothing in the backyard affects it. It is a constant there. Throughout the investigation, we would see shadows moving through that reflection. We could not explain. So I was like, well, I'm going to take a picture of this reflection just, for, documentation purposes of where this reflection was. And when I zoomed in on it, there's a face, which to me looks like kind of like an old lady. And then it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Wow. Me personally, I couldn't make anything of it.
It's the face is distorted, but a lot of times they come in distorted.
Right, exactly.
Whether they're willing, yeah. Or there's also a possibility that night this was a picture of the elemental getting caught because they take on multiple forms.
It almost looks like there's two faces merged into one. Honestly,
that's what I was going to say.
That's what it looks like to me, anyway.
Yeah, just for background, there's extensive research in spirit photography, a lot of which was done by an ITC guru named Mark Macy. He did something. He had a device called an illuminator, and some of the imagery looks like the overlap of faces that are not quite overlapped entirely, where one is eclipsing the other one out. Right. Almost like they're in the process of the merge.
Mm-hmm.
This is eerily reminiscent of that type of photo.
Yeah.
Well, and to add what Scott was saying, so when we went back and did the blessing last weekend, we were back in that back room. And to give you a concept, this house sits on a curve in a road. So any traffic coming by comes in around and like this. This room is at the very back of the house and is surrounded by woods in the back. So no traffic ever points towards that side of the house at all. North, south, east, west. It doesn't point. Headlights don't point in that direction at all, and it's completely covered by trees. There's a creek off to the south side of it, and it's just embedded with trees. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's been in North Carolina, in the wintertime you can see your neighbors. In the summertime, you don't know they're there.
Nope.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I looked, and the reflection is cast onto the wall from that mirror. And when I was there on Saturday, when we were doing the blessing on the house, I can tell you right now, that face wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So that is an interesting capture to me too, because you guys know me. I lean towards the metaphysical side, but with my law enforcement background, I lean towards the facts. And then with my data background, I try and disprove it just like these guys do, and I couldn't disprove it because I saw this evidence before we went up there Saturday. So.
Yeah. If it was created by something in the physical environment that was part of the reflection, it would be there at least most of the time, if not all of the time.
No.
And Michelle LeBaron's question about the morphing of two spirits or entities into the one space, that's a possibility. When they have cases of multiple spirits in a possession, you have entities that are occupying the same, for lack of a better term, with same quantum space, or they're trying to occupy the same area, or they're just both manifesting in a similar space, and you're getting is a fusion that's not complete,
right?
Of both images, where it looks distorted, almost like it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like an aberration.
Point.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, not to interrupt anybody, just want to let you guys know in about 4 minutes, UNX is going to transfer their audio over to the next programming. But we're going to stick around. We've got about 4 clips left with Piedmont Paranormal. We're going to finish those out. So you can stick with us live on Facebook. You can stick with us live on YouTube and go ahead and finish the show with us. Or you can go on with UNX and listen to their next program if you'd like. But you're going to want to stick around.
No, stick with Piedmont. No, there's no leaving.
There's no leaving. All right, Scott. Step away from the chair.
Oh, man.
You know it's good when the people who captured it laugh before they explain it.
Yeah.
You say chair.
You know it's good.
Yeah. Okay. This was taken at St. Albans. I wasn't able to go. I didn't have enough vacation time saved up for, other things we have going on this year. So Zach here was pretty much on point at St. Albans. So I'll let him.
So before we play it, let me just say I was loopy because I'd been up for about 36 hours. I worked the night before. So I'll say a word. You'll hear it. It's pronounced really funny. Again, I don't know other than I was loopy. But what you hear after is interesting.
All right, let's take a listen. There you go, guys.
Dad, step away from the chair.
I heard that again.
Oh, they mimicked you.
Yeah. Step away from the chair.
Yeah. That is awesome.
St. Albans is known to have doppelgangers. So
that was cool. That was very cool.
They say it the same silly kind of a way that you said it.
Yeah.
They said it the same way.
Why are you trying to say he talks silly?
That was silly.
That was
And
silly.
it was awesome.
Hey, if you guys know Zach,
It was good. It was really good.
That's awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah. It was that guy sitting in the chair at the end of the bowling alley right there.
Yeah, that was your dad, right? That you were telling him to step away from the chair.
Yes, we were trying to reproduce something with the FLIR. That was recorded. So,
Okay. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Zach's
That's
dad,
really cool.
Mike, is part of our team. So you get those two together on an investigation, and you're in for a good time. I can tell you that right now.
Zach, Mike, and I got volunteered to walk down the violent women's ward at Trans-Allegheny the last time.
Got some cat calls.
We got some cat calls. That's when we caught the lady pounding on the door saying, "Please help."
Please help.
Yeah. That was me, Zach, and his dad, Michael. Yeah.
Very cool.
No, Michelle LeBaron. You, Michelle LeBaron, are just fabulous. You.
Fabulous.
She is.
Hi, Connie.
That's a really good capture. Seriously, as an audio anomaly standpoint, that is a really good capture. That shows an awareness, that shows an intelligence, that shows that even your tonality and the cadence of your speech was clear to wherever they were receiving it because they replicated it. That's
very much.
Yeah.
thank you.
And yet
That's
creepy at the same time because it had a different tone. The tonality was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Okay, so this next one, you guys called it a possible orb, and everybody that's ever watched this show knows Chris's opinion on orbs. Right? It's a light anomaly. Now, this one, Zach, if I remember right, this is the Montgomery House investigation. We were upstairs.
Yeah. And I'm kind of with you about orbs. I don't necessarily like them, but there is kind of uniqueness to this, and it's kind of illuminated.
Yeah.
It's just an anomaly as far as I'm concerned. But
so the first video you guys are going to see is that the real time, and then the second video we're going to show is the actual slowdown of the orb, so you get more of a picture of it. So here we go. Watch this. I'm going to play that again so you can see how fast it goes by.
Oh, yeah.
So now, for the most part, people would look at that and go, it's just dust. Now watch it slow down. Yeah, dust floating up, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like it's accelerating.
Yeah, I would say that.
So
I would agree with that.
I'll play that slow down one more time.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
It kind of like it was going up and
yeah,
it was like it disappeared.
It not only
it was just a weird movement.
It not only looks like it's accelerating, but if you take into account the possibility of that being a particle of light, it was going faster with inertia that seemed to be picking up against gravity. It was going upward and picking up speed. And then it seemed to almost diffuse itself a little bit and stretch out.
Yeah, but then it kind of at the end they're kind of diffused, but then it came back and then it kind of
yeah. And I don't know of any bugs that do that.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, nor would they make a spray to combat that.
No exterminators in North Carolina going to help you with that one.
It definitely had a trajectory path, though. I mean, it wasn't random or floating, or I mean, it had its own path.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I'm going to do a shameless plug here for everybody watching. That was caught in the Montgomery plantation house that was built in 1830 that Audra and I run out here in North Carolina. That all the money goes to the Historical Society in Montgomery.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. This is a wonderful cause. If you're going to investigate there to help support a magnificent place, and it did not disappoint. If you have the other clip that I think you're going to play, you'll see that it did not disappoint.
So I'll play that right now since Scott brought it up. And I want to let you guys know so Piedmont Paranormal was there. So Scott was there with his wife and Sarah. Zach and his dad, Michael, was there. Carrie was there. Audra was there. I was there. And Spirits of the Southeast were there. So Connie and Donna were there also. And we had probably 7 digital recorders going at one time.
Mm-hmm.
This was caught on Scott's. And
it was actually caught on 3 separate recorders.
Really?
Yes. Later we learned that Mike caught it on his FLIR. Was it his FLIR?
No, it was a digital recorder.
Oh, just a digital recorder. So yeah, it was caught on 3 separate recorders. We did not hear it at all. Just to give a little backstory on it, this is at the very beginning. We actually had not started investigating yet. We had done, we were doing setup, or actually just completed setup.
Mm-hmm.
The very first thing I do for any setup is set up the standalone audio. We get it recording, we get it going, then we do everything else. So I had gotten everything set up. We were having some problems with the DVR, and I was trying to troubleshoot that as well. When all of a sudden my wife pokes her head in the door and says, "Scott, it's raining out here." We had the command post set up outside. So Chris graciously let us move the command post inside to the kitchen. So we're having to redo setup. While we're doing that, we catch this disembodied voice. I'll let y'all have your opinion as to what you think it says. But we did not hear it. It was caught on 3 separate recorders. So let's go ahead and play it.
And so everybody knows, I had a digital recorder 4 feet away from where this was caught, and my recorder did not pick it up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. So once we get done with the camera setup, we'll do this radios.
So that little just box came across and said young while that was going on. What was it? It said young. Young?
Okay.
Joseph, were you trying to talk to us?
We have one camera that's offline.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe it says leave.
Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it says leave.
Yep, leave.
Yeah, the more I listen to it, the more I think it says leave as well. So
if you play that,
for some reason I always hear hang.
Interesting.
Play it again and see.
Yeah, play it again.
Let's play it again. Here we go.
Okay. So once we get done with the camera setup, we'll do this radios.
So that little just box came across and said young while that was going on. What was it? It said young. Young?
Okay.
Joseph, were you trying to talk to us?
We have.
There, first in the courthouse.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. It's like, I think it's leave or lead. I hear an E sound.
I hear a long E sound in there as well. So
But I would imagine it's leave
at the end of it, like the leave.
Yeah.
It's so stretched out, but I hear an E sound. I think it's leave.
If you pay really close attention to it, it almost sounds like an older lady that is not all that happy with us being there. If you guys have ever seen a picture of Mrs. Montgomery, this voice matches her face perfectly.
Really?
Well, I've seen a picture of her. You showed us, and I would say yes.
Like I said, Montgomery House did not disappoint. We did get some good stuff. I was going to send in the thermal hits we got in was it Civil War room?
Yeah, the Civil War room.
There's a thermal hit of a face on the wall.
Wow.
I don't know if I showed that one to you yet, Chris, or not.
No.
If not, I will send it to you. But we are planning on going back to Montgomery House. We have a lot of stuff coming up here in the near future, and trying to find a date to get back in there. But I think Spirits of the Southeast is coming back here soon, aren't they?
Yeah, Spirits of the Southeast will be there June 18th. Yeah.
I think it's important for people watching to point out something you mentioned in the beginning, setting up the clip. There was approximately 7 recorders, including Chris's, which was in close proximity to where that happened. And if that was ambient noise by anybody in the room who was a human being, every recording device would have captured it at some level.
Right?
Absolutely. Good point.
And that was loud.
So let me add even more credence to that. I had a recorder on the second floor, and I had 2 recorders on the first floor. Okay,
And that was loud.
And this house is approximately 1,600 square feet max.
It's not big.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's talking on the first floor, you can hear them clear as a bell on the second floor. None of my recorders picked it up.
Right.
Wow.
You could put that. You could put that on your phone as the wake-up call when your alarm goes off in the morning. Seconds. Come on.
I would get you out of bed quick.
Well, there again, it's getting back to what it actually says.
Yeah.
If it's saying leave, maybe it had found a way to communicate just to our recorders because they didn't want us there. They know Chris and whoever's there knows Chris and Audra. They don't know us.
That's a good
Maybe
point.
they were saying leave.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's why they did it to your recorders. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a directed message, right? It's
Yeah, that's a neat way of looking at it. I mean, we did go in with, an open heart. I mean, we went in, introduced ourselves. We brought gifts the first time we went in. I mean, we
went gradually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and every time we go back, Audra cleans. I fix stuff around the house. I've sprayed for bugs numerous times, but in North Carolina, it doesn't do much damn good.
Every other day.
But that clip has prompted us to. We have made a sizable investment in new equipment since Montgomery House. One of those being an EVP recorder with live listening capabilities, which I think Everett has become a big fan of.
Huh.
So,
those are good.
Yeah,
just for the purposes, just like that.
So I've got one more clip, and I saved it for last on purpose because I wanted to show everybody. So Piedmont is big on sensory deprivation experiments, and if I believe so, this was done at the Winston-Salem house, the private investigation. Were you using your new DRV on this one or no?
We attempted DRV, and getting back to some of the stuff that Ron and Tony's been helping me with, I have hypothesized that if a spirit, which we believe to be energy, produces an audible sound, then it in itself is audio energy, which by definition is a radio wave. To me, that's what it be. One of the things I've started using is a spectrum analyzer, to try and dial in on the frequency that they're speaking in. So if you don't know what a spectrum analyzer is, it picks up radio frequencies, graphs them out, and shows you what their signal strength is. So we did attempt DRV. I wasn't quite successful with it, but while I was doing it, Everett had the live listening recorder going through the house, and he was asking questions, and then all of a sudden I hear Everett say, "What did you say?" And response to something he heard on the live listening. At that point, I did see a spike on the spectrum analyzer. Unfortunately, the shortwave radio that I have is kind of limited in capabilities and would not let me dial into that exact frequency. So I think I'm on to something, and we'll be getting more into that, and we'll definitely be communicating with Ron and Tony about that. But let's see here. Back to the point of the clip. This was a sensory deprivation session that we were doing. I was the one who was sensory deprived. Zach was asking questions, and this is where we believe that Marie moved on. So we'll go ahead and the homeowners were there to actually witness this as well.
Oh, so, wow. Okay. And for everybody watching that doesn't know what sensory deprivation is, so in this clip, you're not going to see the video; it's all audio. But Scott has a set of earphones on, and they're running a ghost box sweep.
Yeah, it's an SB7 that we're using.
Yeah.
For it, and I have Bluetooth noise canceling earbuds in with a pair of gun range earmuffs over them. And then, unfortunately, I had forgot my blindfold, so I had to close my eyes for this one. So I can't hear him. I can't see him asking questions. I'm listening to what's coming over the SB7, and then repeating what it says.
Okay. It's a brilliant thing to do. People may know it by what's called the Estes experiment. I think it was originated in Estes, Colorado, at the Stanley Hotel. And it's fascinating because if you respond to a question that you're not privy to, it takes that you're being influenced by looking for what you want, or pareidolia or otherwise, off the table because you don't know what the question is. So I love that you're doing this because it really does level up what you're getting through the box when you do that.
And I wanted to show this because Piedmont does this quite often, and they're really good at these sensory deprivation sessions or the Estes experiments. And
Anthony Simonelli loves doing this stuff too. So
I love doing it
when you
too.
see him at Tala, you guys are going to have a field day with that because he loves doing that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fun.
But listen to this session, because this one, doing a sensory deprivation experiment in a haunted location like Tala and getting intelligent responses is impressive. Doing it in a private home investigation setting is super impressive when you get intelligent responses. So I want you guys to hear this one. Here we go.
Session, Ocala Road. Time is 23:50. Present myself, Zach, Heather, Mike, and Shane. All right, starting sweep, and on my mark, 3, 2, 1, mark. All right, go ahead.
Is there anybody here that wants to speak to us? Marie, are you here? Marie, it's important that we talk to you because we think we can figure all this out. Can you come here and talk to us?
Oh. I need to change my sweep rate real quick. All right, go ahead.
Marie, if you can use that box to talk to us. Either one of them. Is there other entity present that would like to speak to us?
Fight it.
Okay. Well, right now, we're not looking to fight. We're wanting a peaceful solution to this. If this is Marie that we're speaking to, we may have a solution to fight this other entity, but we need to talk to you first. Are you willing to do that? Are you the other entity? Why are you here?
I'm relieved.
Oh, okay. So it's Marie. So, Marie, for us to get rid of the other entity, we're going to have to get you to go ahead and pass on. And go towards the light.
God.
Correct. It's where you belong. Once we're done, and once you're gone, then we can take care of this other thing. You don't need to protect this family anymore. Your job is done. Are you willing to go towards the light? Was that you in the kitchen?
Gone.
Okay. Stop there. Stop.
What?
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I had no idea what he was asking, and when he stopped, I was like, wow, we're stopping really short here. And when he told me, I think Marie just left, then I was like, oh wow, really? So, but you got anything to add to that?
That was not exactly my intent. I was trying to tell her the game plan, but afterwards, if it works, it works. But afterwards, it did feel completely different inside that house.
Yes,
it was less heavy. I will say, having like 48 successful CPRs, this was probably just as rewarding, if not more so.
That's a good. That's a good.
Very cool.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
And you were talking about it feeling heavy in the house. The first investigation that we did at the house that I was at, I didn't feel anything. Doggone, I couldn't feel a pressure, or sometimes you hear about feeling a static in the room or anything. The first investigation, I couldn't feel any of that. The second investigation that we did, I could walk in the house and I could just feel a pressure on my body. It was warm, and it wasn't necessarily a warm night that night.
And that pressure was also reported by some other members as well. Becca and Eric. Becca is Eric's wife. Particularly around the area of the bathroom, they felt like a heaviness or pressure, almost like they couldn't breathe when we got close to the bathroom. Interesting fact about that bathroom is the homeowner, Mike, his almost a year ago, his wife passed away in that bathroom. We had no evidence or anything that his wife was still there. We believe she had successfully passed on when she died in the house. But around that bathroom, there was some pressure. Oddly enough, she died of a heart attack in that bathroom. So was she feeling the same pressure? And she had some medical issue that it just wasn't able to overcome it. Who knows? So,
Interesting.
Oh, very interesting.
Something's up with bathrooms. I'm telling you, bathrooms freak me out. Seriously. Like there's a bathroom in Gettysburg in the Lincoln Diner, and every time, the very first time, it feels like when I walk in there, then I'm interrupting like a secret meeting. Like if I'm interrupting a plan or something, and I get the heck out of that. I'm like this, and I go out quick. I feel it. It's like they're watching me. I don't know.
Brings a whole new meaning to the song. There's a meeting in the ladies' room.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know what? I found interesting to dial back just like a minute or two when you were talking about running the shortwave radio band Baron, and then Everett was doing live listening, and he heard something. The origins of direct radio voice came out of EVP research when they used white noise for audio support. So the fact that happened is really interesting because that's what it was intended to do when it was first implemented, and then they were told through messages that the vocals would start coming out of the radios, and sure as heck they did. But that was I don't want that to go kind of unemphasized because I thought that was really cool that during the live listening he heard something and responded to it.
Yeah,
that was born out of the white.
Great point, Ron.
Yeah.
Great point.
That's cool.
All right, Scott, Everett, and Zach. Now is the time for your shameless plugs. What does Piedmont got going on? Where can you be found? Where can people look you up on Facebook?
Well, Facebook, you can find our Facebook page, Piedmont Paranormal Investigation Team, or Piedmont Paranormal Investigation. And there is another there's a Piedmont Triad investigation and research, which I've messaged them. They're actually some great people as well. Hoping to start working some with them as well. But ours is Piedmont Paranormal Investigations. As far as where else to find us, tonight it is actually the official launch of our YouTube channel. At the conclusion of this show, it will be going on. I already have some stuff uploaded to it. You can find it on YouTube, and we will be posting a whole lot more here soon. Cool. Tala.
That's right.
Yeah. Tala coming up this weekend.
Right.
Cannot wait. My first time there. He's been there. Your first time?
My first time.
My wife Heather. This is like her second or third time there, and I'm stoked about going there. I've got so many things that I want to do. I hope I have enough time to do them. And then shortly after that, the USS North Carolina. Me being a Navy guy, I couldn't think of a better place to go. So another one is Zach and I have been talking with another homeowner about another possible private investigation. Well, what all kind of activity? I mean, it's pretty much poltergeist type stuff,
essentially,
going on there. So hopefully we're going to help somebody else here soon. So
fantastic.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Mm-hmm.
That is cool. You helped us tonight. You gave us a great show, which we were looking forward to. This was awesome.
That's what I
said. We loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It was fantastic having you guys on.
Yes, it was. Yes,
Want to
it was.
thank everybody that watched. You guys want to shout out some names? I can't watch the comments on them, unfortunately, anymore.
Well, Michelle, we have to work it out. Maybe we'll
yeah, Michelle.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, next time maybe I won't have to do this on my cell phone. We had some problems at the beginning. Had to switch to a cell phone, and maybe we'll be able to read the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a nice Courtney's there, Melissa, Amber, Rebecca.
Yeah. So.
Connie Broadwell was on. She's gonna be at Tala with us next week. I think they're going with us to the USS North Carolina too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cool.
Anthony Simonelli, I got the cigars ready to go, baby, for Tala.
You're gonna love that guy. He's one of the nicest people in the field.
Yes.
Bar none.
Excellent.
We work with him all the time. He's excited to come down, and he is a lot of fun to work with. He's been doing this for 30-something years. You talk about the Talk about the perpetual. There he is. I was just gonna say bad stuff about him, and he showed up.
Yeah, looking forward to that's next Saturday. 5 days away.
Oh, I can't believe
Looking forward to it.
Very cool.
We apologize that we were not able to make it. We were supposed to try to come. We had an event that was 2 weeks later that ended up not happening. It just
happening. Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing we had at the beginning of June got pulled.
Yeah.
But we committed. We gave our word. We were hoping to do it, as much as we hated not getting to work with all of you. And then unfortunately, as things happen, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah.
It fell through, and there wasn't enough time for us to recover with time off and being able to get down there.
Yeah.
No, that's a shame.
But I'm glad you guys are going, and have a great time and get something.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have some more stuff to show you.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a ton of stuff to show 'em.
He said maybe.
He said maybe.
I just want to give another shout out to you, gentlemen. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you still continue to do every day as first responders. We really do appreciate you, and I want you guys to know that everybody watching, that these gentlemen sitting here with Piedmont Paranormal have Southern Entity's utmost respect. And gentlemen, anytime you need us, we got your six.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. We will see you next week. But before we go, if you want to catch evidence like that, you need to do your investigations like Piedmont does. Go out. You need to make sure that you're helping homeowners. You need to make sure you're going to places like Tala. But most of all, the only way you're going to do it is if you stay haunted.
Exactly.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Bye.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?